I just want to start off by thanking Senator Wellington for putting on this amazing webinar event. I wanted to thank everyone sitting there today, taking the time to listen to us talk. I'm honored to be a part of this today. And, it's a little bit more special for me. For the most part, everyone here, we're kind of involved in lacrosse in some capacity, and lacrosse has played a major role in my life and definitely helped shape who I am today. And so tonight I'm gonna go through some stories, some experiences that I've gone through, and these aren't meant, for you guys to feel sorry for me. It's not meant to say, woe is me. It's meant strictly to help educate us. Right? And I kind of wanted to help give everyone a different perspective on things too. All right, so get it up there. So Damon 45, my program here was built on these three pillars that you can see there. Right? And that's understand, educate, and unity. And so number one, with that understand, I wanted to help give youth an understanding of these issues in our society today, kind of explain why they exist, but also understand that we can all do better. We can do better as kids, we can do better as teenagers, we can do better as adults and parents. And number two was educate. So this program was created to further youth's knowledge of equality, but also give them the tools to educate themselves, but also educate other people too. And number three was, I think my favorite one, I think the most important one there is unity, right? I really just wanted to show, how powerful we can be when we unite as one, no matter the color of your skin or mine. All right, so I'm fortunate enough to have this platform to be with you guys today, and I'm choosing to use this platform to help give you guys an understanding of what's going on in the world right now in regards to racial equality and injustices, but also show you how important it is to be inclusive of everyone. Right, so my father's Black, my mom's white, I'm mixed race, and I'm so proud to be both. Unfortunately, though, coming from a mixed race background, it's brought some hardships to my life. When my mom was pregnant with me, she was often told, it wasn't fair to me to have a mixed race child because I wouldn't be accepted by either side. And I'm talking about Black or white. And growing up, this became a truth for me. I felt like I wasn't Black enough to hang out with the Black kids, and I wasn't white enough to hang out with the white kids. It's really unfortunate, but society made me feel this way. Society made me think that race could make or break a friendship or relationship. And honestly, I can't count the amount of times where, I changed the way I look in order to, fit in with a certain group. One day I'd be this preppy kid in class, wearing collars. And the next day I'd be, wearing jerseys past my knees. But my mom, she always taught me, she's like, Damon, just be yourself. And that's what I did. And, being myself mostly consisted of wearing jogging pants and athletic gear from, all the teams that I played on. But I had friends of all different races, all different religions. It didn't matter what color you were, right? If you were cool, you were cool, and I was hanging out with you. So the color of someone's skin doesn't define who you are, and it definitely shouldn't skew how you treat people. Basically, this is what racial equality is, right? Treating everyone as equals, no matter the color of their skin. There's so much racially motivated hate and indifference in this world, and it's honestly, it's confusing to me, and it breaks my heart. So we can't let hate win. We have to learn to love one another and treat everyone as equals. I like to use this analogy to kids, but imagine if you had two friends here. One friend had blue eyes, the other friend had brown eyes, and you treat the guy with blue eyes differently because he has blue eyes. It sounds ridiculous, but that's how ridiculous racism is. And I've heard this said also by kids, by teenagers, even adults, and it goes, "I don't see color." Now, I don't necessarily know if I believe this statement. Imagine if someone refused to acknowledge, your identity as, a good student or athlete. For any of the coaches or parents out there, right? No one saw you as the great coach or parent that you were. If this was an important part of you, you'd probably want it to be acknowledged, right? So seeing color, it's not a negative thing, right? Seeing color means we're seeing the real experiences of others. Not seeing color, it's almost a way of ignoring racism, right? So when we see color, we can identify our unique differences. We can really learn to respect our diversity. So, like I said before, unfortunately, because of the tone of my skin, it's brought some hard times for myself. I've been called names. I've been treated differently. In some social situations, I've been made feel so uncomfortable that, I actually felt sick to my stomach. And some of us, might think, name calling, that's not that bad. When in reality, guys, the names that I've been called, even when I was some of your guys' age there, they've hurt way more than any lacrosse injury that I've had over my career. And, Casey can tell you, I've had a lot of lacrosse injuries. And, honestly, I can't remember, the first goal that I scored. I can't remember, the first tournament that I won. But I can remember the first time, a kid was racist to me. Or we just lost the semifinals game in the Hamilton Super Series, or in the handshake line, and a kid called me a name. I'm not going to repeat the name, but a kid called me a name. And I just remember feeling so small, angry, and confused. This kid with, one simple word, he robbed me of a lot of great memories that I had in my minor lacrosse days. Was I mad when he called me his names? Yeah, extremely at the time. Was I sad? Of course. I went to my mom after. I remember just bawling. After going through all these emotions, though, I thought to myself, how can this kid have so much hate for me because of the way I look? He didn't know anything about me, yet he had all this hate for me. Then I kind of, began to feel, sad for this kid and for the other kids that have said it to me. Sad because they're not educated. Sad because they have all this hate for no reason. And so part of the reason why I'm here today is to help educate you so no kid has to go through unnecessary pain of racism. And so what I'm saying is, choose your words carefully and think. Think before you speak. Because I can promise you firsthand, emotional scars, they can be far worse than physical ones. Good, next, sympathy versus empathy. We're not in English class or anything here right now. It'll be quick, I swear. It actually plays a very important role in racism, sympathy versus empathy. So, as many of us know, there's a major difference between sympathy and empathy. So both are acts of a feeling, but only one constitutes a true act of compassion. Right? So sympathy, it's an act of feeling sorry for another individual or group without the actual ability to truly understand, what they're feeling. On the other hand, empathy, that's our shared feeling. Right? It's the ability to mentally and emotionally place yourself in another person's shoes to have an accurate sense of, what they're feeling or what they're experiencing. So we're never going to ask you to feel sorry for us because we're Black. Right? We're so proud to be Black for so many different reasons. What we're asking is try to understand what we've gone through. Try to understand what the people before us have gone through. Right? It's so important to consider your own uncomfortable feelings before actually trying to show empathy. As a starting point, you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. I promise you that it sets the stage for you to have conversations with other people. And, we really need to recognize that, there is a major difference between sympathy and empathy. And when dealing with racism, sympathy, it's just not needed. Right? What's needed is that compassionate empathy. So we're going to move on, guys, to ways that we can all help and we can all contribute in our own communities. So if you see something, say something. Whether it's bullying, friends saying inappropriate things, on the field, on the court, or wherever. Speak up and say something. When we're silent, we're just contributing to that racism. Right? So we must call it out when we see it. And as some of us have probably, seen on our social media, people posting, black squares for equality or different racial injustices that have gone on. And, that's all in great for raising awareness, but it means nothing, if we see racism going on in real life and do nothing about it. Right? So when I say, we have to call it out, that doesn't mean we have to shame these people, right? We never want to shame these people. We want to educate these people. And shaming them can have kind of a reverse effect. And calling it out can look like so many different ways too. Right? We can go, if we don't want to call it out face to face, that's fine. Right? Go to a trusted adult, go to a coach, go to a teacher, go to a parent. That's another way you can call it out, but don't ever think of yourself you're going to be a tattletale or a rat or anything like that. You're going to help, who it's affecting. You're going to help yourself. I promise you're going to help your whole community. And next, we have to have difficult conversations. Whether it's with your family, with someone of color, we have to have these conversations. And honestly, if you don't know how to start these conversations, please use me tonight, right? Say, I saw this webinar, Damon Edwards is on it, and, ask this question here. What does inclusion and racial equality mean to you? Okay, so you can take a screenshot of that or take a picture. What does inclusion and racial equality mean to you? Awesome. And if you have a friend of a different race, a simple way to start a difficult conversation is honestly just ask. Say, hey, since we've been friends, have I done anything to offend you or make you feel uncomfortable? The answer is going to be yes or no, right? It's not that scary. And if it was yes, ask what it was that offended them so you can educate yourself and learn from your mistakes. I wish I had, friends back in the day ask me this question because, I would have said yes. I would have said, you know what, these jokes that you guys are making, they do make me feel uncomfortable. I really wish that I had, friends back in the day ask me that question. And I didn't want to say anything to make them feel uncomfortable, but, the whole time I was the one feeling uncomfortable. And, throughout this past year, I've had multiple friends, teammates, colleagues, even acquaintances just call me or shoot me a message saying that, they support me and they'll continue to educate themselves to be better people. And those simple gestures, they meant a lot to me. And it really gives me hope for, a better future for my family and really all of society. Having these difficult conversations leads into our next way to help. That's educate ourselves. Right? First, we have to realize we can all be better people. No one's perfect. I'll be the first to admit I'm far from perfect. I don't know everything there is to know about social injustices, racism, or inclusion. But, I promise that, I'll continue to read and I'll continue to have these conversations to try to further my knowledge. And that's what we have to do. Always try to better ourselves. And whether it's through reading, watching documentaries, or having these conversations. Believe it or not, you guys sitting there today, you guys are our future. Right? You're our future police, firefighters, educators, professional athletes, and leaders. Right? So that's why I truly believe it's so important for you guys to be educated on this, so we can have a better society for everyone. And thank you again. I really wanted to again thank everyone sitting here. I want to thank Sarah Wellington again for letting me be here today. This is a subject that's very near and dear to me. So I appreciate you guys letting me tell my story today.
For more highlights, visit our website, 519sportsonline.ca. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.